guess if you don't have any reporters anymore at the Star, it's hard to report the story. And so our story is a little more complicated and complex, but that does not mean that Kansas Cityans do not understand this. They inherently understand this. And everyone we have a chance to talk to gets this. It's not a soundbite argument. And so for those of you who are hanging in there, where we are right now, which as Scott said, is still on the horse. Sometimes we get dragged along behind it. But we are still hanging on, and in fact, we have had a few really key victories that have kept this thing alive. And it's because I have done this a lot. I've done it as part of the staff at City Hall. I've done it as a consultant. I've done it as an activist. Catherine Shields and I have worked on I don't know how many kinds of issues in Kansas City. When I first got here, I was one of 3 women architects in the whole city when I came back here. I'm a native of Kansas City in 1976, and the only person who ever called me up to help me was Jane Flynn. And the AIA helped me with anything except trying to keep me out. And Jane was the first one who called me and said, "I'm going to help you." And she did, and I'm very grateful to her. She handed me a membership form to Historic I signed, and I owe an awful lot to her. But this kind of battle is actually about a lot of different issues. It's been distorted as trying to save an apartment building that isn't really that great. It is about that at all. The issues that are working for us are 2 things. One, this issue of the environment and the fact that we have a legacy of strong planning in this city that is currently being ignored and has been ignored for the last 5 years or so. And we need to be concerned about that in this fight, because we had this fight before. We did this fight when we did the Plaza Plan, and we had the sailors fiasco staring at us, a 53-story tower, and people said, "Oh my God," and the Plaza Plan was the result of that. And we did the compromise then, which was we are going to have the Plaza grow and stay healthy and be as eclectic and successful as we hope it can be, but there are going to be appropriate places to put higher density office. And that was on the west side and over to the Lockton building and not on this side until you get up to Maine. That's why we have the 20th Century Towers and those things. That argument, which is that there were development zones and that we should respect those, and we have, means that you can't encroach this far over because somebody has a piece of ground that they don't want to be landlords on. They want it to be office because that's what they do. And this is the piece of property they own that they want to turn into an office. We have to stick to our commitment to the plan because, frankly, I saw Forresting Beasley here before. This is the most specific plan the city has on record. It's part of our comp plan. Many of you worked on the Focus plan, which was the first preservation plan in the country that was ever adopted as part of a city's comp plan. These things are really important, and they're important to neighborhoods, and they're important to every part of the city. And that if we're going to kick the Plaza plan down the sewer, what are we going to do with the Washington-Wheatley plan and the Ivanhoe plan and the 18th and Vine plan? They're not worth anything. And all the people who've worked on all of those, trying to design our own future so we don't just stumble into it, have something at stake here. And that's why they're watching this so closely. We've taken on a very, very big opponent, has a lot of money. We've made them mad.